Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Owlet tournament. I'm your host and play-by-play caster, Reignbow. We've got an excellent match for you tonight featuring Congregation versus Kraken Skulls. Joining me in the commentary booth tonight is Nocturnal.
Hello everyone, I am Nocturnal. I will be your color caster for today. And Rainbow, I'm excited. You know why? It's the beginning of the preseason. We get to see many of the Owlet teams start to show what they're made of. Start to show what they're made of. Start to really put on a performance for us. And it's all for fun. At least until the season begins, in which case we start punching each other in the face.
It really is exciting to get a preview of what the upcoming season is going to be looking like and seeing what amazing talent we're going to be seeing.
Absolutely. And it's funny enough because these two teams... these two teams have been really good overall in scrims and whatnot. It's going to be interesting to see what they're able to do. Congregation, I know personally, I've been on their team before. I've scrimmed with their partners. They're really good. And they've also happened to face off against Kraken Skulls in scrims before. So we're going to see if they're able to work out here today and make a good match for us.
Well, looks like we are getting started on the first map. We have Busan, and we are on Sanctuary.
Absolutely, and for the players on the right side, you're going to have the Kraken Skulls. It's going to be Marcus, Frode, Professor Llama, Morningstar, Man, and Discern.
Yes, and over on Congregation, we have Frazzle, Florida, Myas, Choder, Poplot, and Holden. So, since you have previous knowledge of these teams, is there anyone to look, or of Congregation at least, is there anyone to look out for on Congregation?
I can't really say that because I don't really know most of the players. I only know like some of them because I only tried out with them. But regardless, I can tell you we're gonna have a good show with these two teams.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So we have a Rhine over on the side of Kraken Skulls.
Well, this might just be for the beginning because we still are at spawn. It'll be interesting to see what compositions the teams come out with. As, of course, these people have been practicing in scrims for a few weeks now, and they're getting ready to start the Owlet season, which starts next week, by the way. So get ready for that.
3, 2, 1. Round 1.
And we're off.
So coming out of the gates now, we have a Narissa Hog versus a Ryan Zarya.
And you can see, with the DPS line, they're running the exact same DPS of a Hanzo Mei, which confirms that Mei is definitely a meta and probably is going to be seen a lot in this entire Owlet season, at least until they nerf her.
Congregation were first to point, battling out. Oh, and Florida gets pinned off to the side. Oh, and Marcus goes down, Frazzle goes down. It's a very even fight, but there's an edge for Congregation right here. Maya is taking 2 down. And yeah, it looks like that's going to be that for Congregation. They're going to get the point.
It was definitely a very risky move for Marcus to try and charge into the enemy team with a very long distance between his charge start and charge end. Definitely as a Reinhardt, you want to try to focus on short charges, but unfortunately, Marcus just happened to take the long end of the stick and go straight toward the end of the wall.
Yeah, so they're setting up here on point for Congregation, and Kraken Skulls is going around on the right side, coming in. Trying to poke. Oh, Choder walled off Kraken Skulls and took down Marcus, but Choder and Myas are down, so there's no DPS on the side of Congregation. Oh, and that's the support's down for Congregation, and main tank, that is going to be that fight one over on the side of Kraken Skulls.
I hope Kraken Skulls actually decides to go to the point, which they will. And as you can see there, the Mei walls are going to play a very big part in most of these matches because they can block people off. They can make it so people cannot get through. So it's definitely going to be a lot of... you're definitely going to see a lot of Mei walls be placed. Some might be great, like the one Choder placed, but some might be average, like the one Discern placed. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, coming down main. Oh, and the Blizzard gets thrown out by Discern, catching basically the entire team. Congregation, the Dragons come out, but it is too late in the fight, because that is already lost for Congregation.
It was definitely very interesting to see how they were able to win that with one fight, but I don't know why Myas decided to commit the Dragon Strike. Definitely probably a misclick or something, or a miscommunication. They thought it was winnable, they thought the Immortality field was still up, but regardless, Congregation will still have the Wizard. However, Kraken Skulls have a little bit more ults to use than Congregation, so we'll see how this fight plays out.
Yeah, so we have Kraken taking a different approach, going around the right side here, coast side. Looking for Hook, doesn't get anything. Wall is not able to block anyone off. And that's 3 down pretty quickly for Congregation.
Yeah, and that's, if you're a Congregation right now, you do not want to see that, because how many ults did Kraken Skulls use in that fight?
I don't think they used any.
Exactly the point. So now you have wasted your time, now you have lost more percentage, and Kraken Skulls now has more ults than you by a long shot. Actually, I lied. They're about to have the same amount of ults.
There's only 1 fight left, so...
Exactly, so Congregation have to be very careful right now, or else they are going to lose this map. Or this match, this point of Busan.
So many ults coming out from both sides, but nothing is dying yet. Marcus charges in, gets Frazzle. It's just back and forth, but Marcus goes down, holding them down, and that's 4 down for Congregation. There's only the Roadhog left for Congregation, it looks like, and he is down, so I think that is going to be that map.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a very rough turn of events for Congregation there. The Graviton ended up keeping them in place. They had a Dragon Strike come in from a side angle. The only thing that really went their way was that the Reinhardt was whole hog and frozen when he was trying to Earth Shadow them. So, rough match for Congregation, but hopefully they can rebound back here on Mecha Base.
So we're looking at a Ryan Zarya from both sides so far for Mecha Base. Which is interesting because I think we usually see more Orisa here.
And I also want to point out, if you look at Congregation's roster, they have a Sombra right now. Now, if that's for scouting, or it's probably for scouting because you can see the translocator in their spawn, but we might see what ends up happening. You might know, you never know. They might actually be running a Sombra here on Mecha Base.
Yes, see the Sombra going on the coastal side. Main team, both teams going up over top, as we usually see. We have Myas.
Pick up by Myas to get Frode on the Lucio, and that means that Congregation might be able to secure this point.
Just kind of going back and forth. Choder takes down Discern. Marcus goes down. Mango's down. So that is going the way of Congregation there.
Absolutely, really good job by Congregation there. What I saw right there is that their Sombra actually was able to distract the enemy backline, and then the Doomfist in Myas was able to come in. Now there's going to be a full swap on Kraken Skulls as they're going back to a Orisa Hog meta with a McCree instead of a Reaper.
The wall does not block off anyone. They freeze Frazzle and take him down. It's a really great start to this fight. Holden goes down. 2 very important players going down. Myas comes back with a kill on Discern. They're going to be moving into point here with the advantage. Oh, Myas goes down, gets a huge shatter though when Frazzle comes back, and a huge EMP. That is Congregation really bringing it back there.
Now you said advantage, but you did not specify what advantage in terms of player advantage. In that case, Congregation had a huge ult advantage having all 6 of their ults. So it's safe to say they were going to win that fight. The only ults I'm pretty sure that Kraken Skulls would have had was a Coalescent.
Yeah, I think though if Kraken had played it a bit more aggressive, they could have maybe pushed the player advantage more and made it much harder for Congregation to come back. Kraken Skull's going straight to putting Congregation in the role of attacking. But May goes down. A Graviton comes out from Florida. Gets walled off. Still pretty even here. Get a hack onto the Roadhog. Frazzle going in, right into their team, breaking it up. Takes out that Bongo, and gets a shatter onto the tank line. Cleaning them up pretty well. And then Beat comes out from both Lucios, and a Blizzard coming out from Discern. Looks like it is Kraken Skulls cleaning this point up. And taking the point.
Absolutely, and definitely a really good wall from Discern to be able to block Florida's Graviton there. That would have been disastrous for Kraken Skulls, and they probably wouldn't have been able to take the point because of that. Plus, they also were able to get some ults up in that fight, Supercharger, Whole Hog. But now, they've got nothing. However, Congregation also have nothing, but they got a very big ult there, and it's EMP. So we're going to have to see what happens here.
So it's going to be very important. We see Choder coming in from behind, and a huge EMP gets everyone on Kraken Skulls. And that is basically a team wipe right there. Nano coming onto the Rhine, hoping to take out the last two remainders. Will they even be able to touch? The ball coming in, getting body blocked a bit, but is able to touch. And then the Lucio coming in, but he is at 1 health already. He is going down, and I don't think anyone else is going to be able to touch in time.
Absolutely not, and that will be Congregation taking Mecha Base after losing on Sanctuary. So now it goes down to the final point here on here in Busan, and it will be on downtown.
Ready for battle.
Yes, we have a Ryan Diva with double sniper over on the side of Kraken Skulls, and Ryan Zarya with a May and a Widow. Something like, oh no, it's Ryan Zarya over on Kraken Skulls. They switch it up. Really coming out soon. Both coming down main here.
Alright, that's the end of that.
Yep, Choder immediately winning that Widow battle there.
So now there's already disadvantage, so it'd be surprising to see Kraken Skulls bring this back.
Oh, a charge from Marcus going in there, not pinning anyone though. That's Chu going down for Congregation, and Marcus going down. This is very even, it's very back and forth here. May winning out the Widow duel this time. Still going very back and forth. Trying to take out that Zarya, she is not going down so easily. And in the process, Midas and Frazzle go down. So Kraken Skulls pulling that out there.
Honestly, I looked at Marcus's charge and thought that was the worst charge I've ever seen in Overwatch history. He went halfway across the entire map and missed his target. However, it actually went for Holden, who was the Ana. And if you don't have that Ana, all you have is a Lucio for heals. Lucio's not that great of a solo healer, so really, either it was a big brain, either it was a mistake gone wrong, or an Omega Brain mistake gone right, or an Omega Brain play from Marcus on the Kraken Skulls.
Yes, looks like we're having Congregation coming here. Oh, charging the Rhines charge each other back and forth, but comes out on top. A Dragons come out here from Discern, catches Holden. Frazzle main tank down on the side of Congregation, and then we have the May going down, but then two immediately go down on Kraken Skulls by Florida. Florida is really doing well here. And showing the strength on Zarya, but he does go down.
Welcome to Caster Curse Land, as we know it.
Oh, Marcus also going down, Congregation coming back in here, but they don't have the point right now. So, Kraken Skulls is just racking up percentage as they lose this fight very slowly.
Yeah, good stall by Kraken Skulls to be able to take that up to 71%. That means they have at least 2 fights before they can actually win the match. But you can see...
Choder takes out Discern early there.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a stagger. But, oh, never mind, it's a res.
Hello there.
And it almost was sniped out. But yeah, you can see Congregation is not really doing good at like cleaning up kills, and they're getting picked off really easy. For example, Holden, who has been picked off very early some of these fights, and that's not what you
Big
want to
shatter,
see.
but then you have the counter grab coming. Beat coming in on Kraken Skulls, and they are just barreling in here.
Good
And then you
nano,
have the Nano May, which is one of the scariest things in the world, throwing out a blizzard.
Next to the nano break.
But looks like Kraken Skulls is coming out on top here.
Unless Frazzle was able to shatter, unless Frazzle was able to hit like a 5-man shatter, then this is pretty much Kraken Skull's point. It looks like it will be Kraken Skull's point in the end of it all. And now Poplots is in the middle of nowhere, and he needs to get out, and he's just gonna suicide just in order to do that.
Yeah, so it is a bit of a stall here, especially with the CERN taking out Chutter right there.
Yeah, even
so
with that shatter,
they're not gonna have a lot of time to get in here.
No, but they will have two ults. They will have a beat and they will have a shatter. All that matters is that Professor Llama does not hit a big grab to get him off the point.
And they did it. The counter beat coming in there to save them. Frazzle taking out Discern. Going for this Lucian, the Zarya. And they're chasing those kills down and really capturing this point. But you have Marcus in here, shatters, but then immediately dies. So there's nothing, no one to capitalize off that shatter.
There was definitely a miscommunication there by Kraken Skulls, because as I saw, there were 3 people chasing the Widow. There was the Reinhardt, there was the Mercy, and there was the Widow, and there was the other Widow chasing Choder, who was on the other side of the map. So really bad communication by Kraken Skulls there, but hopefully they can rebound now. They have the Valkyrie.
Like they're very scared of Choder's Widow right now.
I mean, that could be one thing, but another thing is that they're just not really doing well against Choder's Widow, or they just can't communicate around it. As you can see, never mind. It's what you said. They're afraid of it.
I mean, it's always a mix of lots of things, but Choder is definitely putting some fear into Kraken here, and Marcus with another long charge against Frazzle, but it again doesn't really get anything here. Choder taking out Discern, grab coming out from Congregation, and they're really getting all these kills here. There's really no hope for Kraken here, and that's that for Congregation.
Yep, I can definitely say one thing. Marcus almost charged Frazzle off the edge. If he was not booped off by just a little bit, Frazzle would have been a dead man, and Marcus probably would have been able to win the game because of that with Kraken Skulls. But unfortunately, Kraken Skulls, not today.
Yeah, it's looking fairly close between these two teams.
Absolutely. And here's Marcus just dying in the end, but only killing one person, but the rest of the team did it, so it's his play of the game. But yeah, great performances there by Congregation and Kraken Skulls. So this might be a close match after all, after we saw that.
Yeah, it seems to be really going back and forth, and you're seeing the various teams' strengths and weaknesses. And it's going to be interesting to see how they work on those and improve on those throughout the season.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious if we're going to be seeing any subs here, because I do see 5 people sitting on the sidelines for that last game. So I imagine we'll be seeing some swaps coming throughout this overall match.
Yeah, well, you never know. They could just be sticking with a starting 6 and having everyone sit on the bench and watch. But you never know. This is Owlet, after all. You could be seeing skill in a player that no one else really sees, and you could be putting them on your roster. But we'll have to see for this next map ahead here, depending on what it actually is.
I hope everyone gets some playtime, because right now we're not fighting for points here. You know, so there's no risk in playing a less skilled player, even not necessarily less skilled, but for whatever reason getting less played. Yeah, so we seem to be seeing a lot of Reinhardt out of Marcus. Did he play any other tanks that last map?
I mean, I only saw him like probably once or twice on the Orisa, but it seems like Marcus mainly made his name on Reinhardt and is willing to stick with his name on Reinhardt. It might be the only tank he knows how to play. We don't know, but if that is the case, then hopefully the team is able to like adapt around it, or Marcus is able to work it. As we can see, they have been running Zarya a lot with Marcus on that Reinhardt, so it's probably just easier for them to run the Rein Zarya. This might have been a GOATS team before, so he's used to playing Reinhardt, but we never know.
Yeah, so we are seeing a swap. We're seeing Frode going out for Kua. And Frode, I remember, was on the Lucio for Kraken.
Yeah, so this is most likely a main support swap, or they're willing to put Morningstar on main support, and Kua just happens to have a Fragyata or something. We'll never know until the match actually starts, which we are going to have the second map here on Paris. So what are our thoughts about that, Paris being the next map?
I have a feeling that we are going to be seeing a Bastion Bunker from one of these teams. It's a favorite of a lot of teams to run the Bastion Bunker on defense. We'll just see how cleanly they can run it. 'Cause it's one you need to run fairly cleanly to do a good job on.
Absolutely, yeah.
But you can get a full hold if you're running it well.
Yeah. And funny enough, and actually we might end up seeing some unique compositions. I have no idea what the Congregation coaches have thought about for Paris, but I remember playing on Congregation in Get Good North America, and we had a very special strat for Paris. So let's see if they will actually be running that exact strat, or if we're going to be seeing a different composition, or something that would be more standard. So here we go.
I'm hoping we see something special, because it's always nice to see the homebrews that are specifically tailored for the players on the team as well. Because you saw some of those, I remember last season, that were built around specific players. Because, you know, sometimes the meta isn't always the best option for what people can play.
Absolutely. So we'll have to see what people are running here on the first point. As you can see, first off on the attack will be the Kraken Skulls. They are running the exact same lineup as last match, except Kua is in for forgot the player of a name, but I think it was like Frode. Thank you. That's why you have two casters, ladies and gentlemen. And what do you know? Exactly like you said, they are running a Bastion Bunker composition on the side of Congregation.
Is a Bastion with a Hanzo? I think that's a pretty decent choice here.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
DPS.
That would mean that literally, if the enemy team happened to be running double shields, your shield dead, boy. Hate to break it to you, but your shield is pretty much dead for it.
Yeah, we're not seeing a double shield on the side of Kraken Skulls, which you've been seeing at some high-level play. You get the Orisa Sigma, go and get those double shields, which are so much fun to play with.
Yay!
But we're not going to be seeing that, so that shield break is going to be especially helpful. Or especially effective.
Yeah,
because
we are going to be seeing
one shield to break.
We're going to be seeing the Rein Zarya again from Marcus and Professor Llama. Of course, May and a Reaper. Pretty much the exact meta that we have right now, except instead of an Orisa Hog, you have a Rein Zarya. So, it'll be interesting to see how the team tackles.
They hope to use that wall to get through the choke, but Marcus goes down. And looks like they kind of just have to sit in the back corner. But Discern goes down. They just kind of need to get the rest of their team there and hope Congregation doesn't chase them too hard. Because they can't really get out of that situation.
Exactly. This is why a Bastion Bunker is so like overpowered in the current meta. It's because that like Bastion can just sit there, hold M1, and everyone dies. And you have to try and get through him. Have a good day.
Another wall coming up to get the rest of their team back to that corner so that they can push. It looks like they're maybe going around and just going to head over to point.
Yeah, that is the biggest strategy against the Bastion Bunker, but this is the killer.
Oh, yeah, that dragon coming in, but it gets Marcus, and that's such an essential piece. But the Coalescence coming out, hoping to regain an equal standing, and they do take out Holden. So
And
Mercy, and that's a big pick.
Yeah, Mercy is the
Especially
biggest
with
person you want.
response for defense.
Yeah, Mercy is the
Carry
biggest
down.
player to kill on the enemy team, and they got advantage of that.
Go goes down, but he's gonna be able to come back really fast.
Oh, the
And
charge!
that's a huge charge! Marcus taking out 3. His you know, YOLO charges are paid off right there. He may have died, but his team won in the end, and that's what matters to a Reinhardt that makes those charges.
I talked earlier about Marcus's over-aggression sometimes, but that was just somehow the best play I could have ever seen out of a Reinhardt player right now. So great job by Marcus and great job by the team to be able to set that up and get Marcus a 2-boop charge with the Bastion dead. Anyways, we're going to be attacking on point B now. As you can see, Congregation do have Configuration Tank and Supercharger ready. That is a deadly combo, but Marcus does have Shatter if he's able to get behind them and cancel it out.
So we have Kraken Skulls coming out on the right, gonna push from behind. The Configuration Tank coming out, taking out Meh. The wall coming down, which blocks their own Shatter, it looked like. It's rather unfortunate. Yeah, so this push is not looking so healthy for Kraken Skulls, but they did get Configuration Tank out, but they did unfortunately lose their Shatter, but Shatter does charge a lot quicker.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is what that is what we call a very bad miscommunication. Marcus thought he had the great Shatter plan, but Discern thought otherwise and thought that the wall, and as you can see, Discern is already apologizing for his actions.
Behind the barrier.
But yeah, so Professor Llama got taken out right at the end there, so lost his charge for this next push. Which is, you know, always unfortunate for Zarya players to lose that charge.
Yeah, and also this also puts Kraken Skulls at a very bad disadvantage. They are now 4-1 in terms of ults. They're about to build up 2 other ults, but yeah, that will be the killer again.
Now let's see if it's gonna get anyone, and no kills from that dragon there. Yep, first alarm going down again. I'm hearing the Supercharger and the Valkyrie coming out from Congregation, but the Blizzard comes from Kraken Skulls, and it seems that their ult was more powerful. And then you have Roadhog ulting, trying to push some people back and maybe get a kill to get an advantage for his team, trying to stall this out. But it's not working. Kraken is just cleaning up here. You have Window coming out, but again, it's not getting anything. There's no one to even shoot through it right now. We have 2 people on point. We have the Wrecking Ball and, you know, various people bouncing in and out. Let's see if they can take down this Wrecking Ball, because I know it can be a challenge, but the May should make it a lot easier for this team. And
Or just a Shatter.
down onto Congregation, cleaning up the team once again. And that looks like that's the point for Kraken Skulls. I think that was a really great recovery and good ult efficiency there.
Absolutely, and what I noticed there at the beginning was that Professor Llama ended up getting picked off really early, and because he was separated. So really good job for Kraken Skulls to be able to have a man disadvantage, and I think an ult disadvantage, and still be able to cap both points. And even though Congregation was able to stall it out for a little bit, they were still able to cap 2 points. So really good job by Kraken Skulls to be able to know what to do in that sort of situation.
Yeah, and it definitely didn't help Congregation that they popped both Bongos and Valkyrie, because those kind of do the same thing. Like, minus the healing that you can get from Valkyrie, you're just kind of like double damage boosting, and it can be a bit redundant sometimes.
Absolutely. So really bad ult efficiency by Congregation. If they were to save that Valkyrie for a little bit, they probably would have been able to save the point. But it looks like we will be seeing not the composition I hoped we would be seeing from the Congregation, but you never know. Meanwhile, on the Kraken Skulls side, they're fed up with Congregation and they decide to run their own medicine back right into their throats.
Yeah, so we love to see the amazing Bastion bunker.
Yeah, we love to see people hit hit shift once and then hold M1 for the entirety of the game.
It really shows, I think, the highest level of skill you can see in this wonderful game.
Yeah.
But looks like they're not going to be setting up in the same place, though. Looks like they're gonna be setting up on the right of point, upper right.
Yeah, and this is actually a pretty good place to set up for a Bastion, because if the enemy team were to go through this choke, and they were able to get to the point, you would have an immediate vantage point and be able to have full viewpoint of the point. For Congregation on the first point, they didn't have view advantage. They only had, like, they were able to rotate around and were in the middle of the enemy fire. Here, they have point advantage.
Reignbow already touching point and looking to maybe go behind. Now he's trying to click that and gets taken out.
He's gonna be going behind the spawn doors, I'll tell you that.
The Pharah trying to rain in some damage onto this shield and get it broken down.
And actually, that was a pretty smart strategy. While Florida went to the point, the rest of the team went to the left side and started going to the point. So, actually, the Wrecking Ball didn't suicide just for no reason.
It's a distraction. That's what I like to say when I feed. It's just a distraction. I'm big brain, actually.
Oh, man.
We have Frazzle going down. Discern going down though for Kraken Skulls, which is not great because they have longer respawns. And Frazzle getting rezzed, so this is looking good for Congregation right now. Really good. Yeah, they're really cleaning up here. But Kua does get the res onto Meh, but I don't think it'll be enough to save the point here. You only have the 2 supports remaining, and they're very squishy and die very quickly.
Yep. Definitely, like, a lot of problems there for Kraken Skulls. One big problem I noticed was that the Bastion was just left defenseless for about, like, 5 seconds, and no one did anything, except for, like, probably the Mercy. But other than that, that was just very bad planning. And now you're going to also be seeing the Bastion here on point B, but in a different position than Congregation. And that was a fat finger.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we call a fat finger.
Yeah, I was looking to bite them in the back there, but he kind of gave away his positioning with the ult line. So that's rather unfortunate. It looks like Congregation's going to be going around to the left here, maybe. And trying to get grouped up. Maybe trying to get some communication through. People are very spread out right now.
Yeah, I'm also noticing, if you look in the top right, Professor Llama has switched off the D.Va and switched onto a Sigma. So now we have a double shield setup for Kraken Skulls. Good idea, probably not notice it.
Congregation. Ooh, cruise ship raining in some damage from above. Congregation really getting a lot of kills here. Yeah, but they do get the... Kua gets the res on Mei again, but it again does not get much value. Because everyone on the team is already dead. But we do have Discern stalling out here on the Mei. And Marcus coming in on the Ring Ball. Yes, you get a Blizzard in the window though, coming out from Kraken Skulls, hoping to get those kills and bring this fight back. And they are getting some kills definitely here. But Choda refused to go down quietly.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to laugh there a bit. I just saw Poplots like spinning around in circles trying to rest. But anyway.
It is always entertaining to watch.
Yeah. What I should really point out is that, let's just point out that Choda used his barrier at the beginning of that. He already has a new one. So, also, I find it a very bad idea for Kraken Skulls to be able to run a Orisa Sigma into a Symmetra. That is literally saying that you really want to die today. So, I'm happy Professor Llama has decided to switch on to the D.Va. So we'll be seeing what they run. And there's that barrier again! Same place!
Yeah, so that's like exactly the same place. I think it's really to get cruise ship free reign into the enemy team. And everyone in general, but cruise ship is especially getting great advantage from it. I'm hearing the pings of Symmetra turrets coming out here. They're also getting taken down. Choder continuing to do amazing work on this Symmetra. And really putting some fear into Kraken Skulls. The D.Va is almost down and demect, but they do not quite finish up that kill, and get the window coming out from Kraken Skulls and the pull coming up above by Congregation, but does not get anything. Do a huge anti there from Holden, and they're cleaning up once again, but Florida does go down. A barrage coming out from cruise ship. Choder cleaning up even more, and they body block Discern off that point.
Yep, that was 3 projecting barriers that the Symmetra had that round. I think it's safe to say that Symmetra is doing a lot of damage here. So if
Choder's
I'm
really getting
Kraken,
work done.
yeah, so if I'm Kraken Skulls, I would try to counter Choder as much as humanly possible to make sure that you cannot get that much value on a Symmetra. So, and they also really did not really switch to hit scan for cruise ship on that Fura. So really, Kraken Skulls, they need to fix that.
But would
Just
the hit
saying.
scan really have done that much? Because they entered every fight with a huge wall to prevent any damage really going in onto cruise ship.
It probably would have done like less. It probably would have been able to help in some regard, but not like in the best regard. But anyway, now the Bastion days are probably over. As you can see, Congregation coming out with no more Bastion. Hooray! We have switched off the Bastion for once. All silver players rejoice. Anyway, they're going to be running a Mei and a Hanzo this time around. That is the Bastion composition that we once saw
probably
before.
looking to separate them when they push in through choke and pick them off. With that amazing Mei wall that everyone loves.
Yep, and you can see Professor Llama is getting ready for a Bastion composition, and it's kind of funny because last time they had the Hanzo go after the go out, and they had the Bastion at the choke. Here they don't have the Bastion at the choke, so it'll be interesting to see how Kraken Skulls adapts their strategy.
Yes, they're kind of realizing the Bastion isn't there and are pushing in a bit more boldly, using the wall to prevent poke from coming in. Taking a similar route that they did last time. A huge anti coming in from Holden again. Really doing well on that Ana. Marcus time to charge in, but gets walled up into the ceiling. Congregation getting those kills, but it is still pretty even. Kraken kind of trying to go around, but they get split up by the Mei wall, which is really going to spell doom for them.
And now it's just a matter of getting out if Professor Llama can. And this is going to be a nasty stagger. Never mind, Lord, I need the mech. But anyway,
Almost got out there.
yeah. And also, amazing Diva battle with baby Divas battling for a mech. But anyway, you can definitely see right now how the impact of Mei walls is playing into this meta. Mei walls can either be offensive or defensive. As you can see, most of them tend to be offensive. Most of them tend to be defensive, but you had that one instance where Cruz had it offensive, and that's a double Mei wall.
Yeah, coming in and using that coalescence to kind of get through the point and keep the tanks up. But a shatter comes in. I don't think it really got anyone in the window by Congregation to get in a lot of damage here. And another huge charge from Marcus, taking out Frazzle.
Oh, this is gonna be dirty, guys.
Diva Bomb takes out 2 from Congregation. And Congregation is really just cleaning up again. Maybe a bit of an unnecessary Dragon Strike right there at the end, though.
It was probably just for stalling. They didn't know how many people were actually...
Yeah, and there's not much time left. You know, you're gonna take care of this Wrecking Ball.
It depends. Can Marcus get another, like, 3k charge with 3k with one charge? Is it possible? Nope, never mind, he's dead. Alright!
Cruise Ships, I think, is really having some great walls on this Mei.
Absolutely.
He's made such an impact, especially on that particular defense. He's doing really well.
Yeah, Cruise Ship has really made an impact on this Mei, and a lot of other heroes have done really well on their roles as a whole. Definitely some problems on Kraken Skulls, sorry, to really act on certain situations. There were a lot of situations where they just were down and just didn't really try to fix their problems, but we'll be able to see if they were able to get a full hold here on Paris, or if Congregation will be getting a 2-0 lead in this series heading into halftime.
Yes, we are going to be possibly seeing a Orisa attack here, and Bunker, as you know, one would expect on defense on Paris. It's very popular. You rarely see anything with Orisa.
What I don't like right now is that Kraken Skulls has not chosen many of their heroes, considering they only have 20 seconds, and it takes 30 seconds, I think, to walk from defensive point B, from defensive spawn to the point A, so they're going to be hustling.
They're running very similar to Congregation, but have the Roadhog instead of the Diva. I don't quite... they had a Ana on Congregation's defense as well, and they do not have that here. for Kraken Skulls. I don't remember their exact support lineup though. I just remember the huge nades coming out from Holden.
Let's see what happens here.
Orisa Wrecking Ball is interesting, and they get a boop, which displaces the entire bunker, which is very unfortunate and could spell disaster for them here. But the Immortality Field helps get everyone set back up, and takes down both of the farmers, which is amazing, and gets and we have Kua getting a res onto Discern. Yeah, Florida is really bringing in a lot of disruption to this bunker, and they're not dealing with it. They're recovering very well, but they haven't been dealing with Florida that well.
I just want to point out, setup there. What actually happened is Professor Llama ended up hooking cruise ship out of the sky, and it helped get Discern the kills. Really good hook by Professor Llama. Unfortunately, I have Caster Curse, and never mind, he got another hook.
Yeah, it seems like it's great teamwork coming there. And Choder getting a huge wall coming in here and helping cruise ship get in some work, and himself getting in with a 4K there, 5K. Choder killing everyone on Kraken Skulls and refusing to die.
And that'll be Congregation taking the second map, and like I said, Choder Symmetra is something to be feared about, ladies and gentlemen. So you better prepare if you are another Owlet team, and you're gonna have to face off against Congregation. And you can see right here why it's so devastating.
Yeah, so the DPS are really looking great for Congregation. You have Choder, who's doing amazing on that Symmetra, and Cruise Ship, who is getting very powerful May walls, and seems to be doing fairly well on that Pharah there.
Absolutely.
Minus Discern taking them out of the sky with the help of Professor Llama.
Yeah. So, really good job by Congregation's DPS. Sorry. They've been popping off this entire game, and really, this is... Congregation ended up picking up these DPS. Reminder, Congregation was a draft team, so they ended up having to pick up players, and they ended up picking these two. I definitely think it was a good investment.
Yeah, I definitely think that was a good choice from the coaches over there. So our next map we're going to is Hollywood. So I think we're going to be seeing more Orisa on this defense. But maybe one of these teams is going to run Ryan, like Kraken Skulls, who seem to have at least a bit of a preference for Ryan, or Marcus does. They are switching out Seeker in on Kraken Skulls, but I'm not
that's Congregation, sorry. They changed the team.
Congregation.
So Congregation will be attacking first.
Cruise Ship was switched out. That was
yeah, Cruise Ship was swapped for Seeker. So, from what I know, Seeker, I've heard he's really good. So, we'll have to see what happens here with Congregation now. But not saying Cruise Ship is a bad player. Cruise Ship was able to do really good there on the far end of May. But we'll have to see what Seeker brings to the table, as he is ruining the entire profile icons here on Congregation. So great job, Seeker. You're ruining everything.
And the Twitch chat, who can't see, they all have very nice coordinated icons, except for Seeker, who has the Torbjorn claw.
Yep.
It is rather unfortunate.
Yeah.
So who do we think has the edge in this support lineup, though? Because we've been seeing, good nades coming out from Holden's Ana, but Holden also tends to get quite a bit, and I don't know, it's kind of hard to see who has the edge in the supports.
Yeah, really, it is kind of hard to see who has the edge, but I've been mainly into how aggressive these supports have been playing. I can definitely say that Morningstar and Kua are probably a little bit aggressive. If you noticed on Paris attack, when Kraken Skulls was attacking, there was a point where Kraken just literally read it Lucio'd all the way to the point and tried to get a big kill, but couldn't. So it is a little obvious that Kraken Skull's support line might be a little bit more aggressive, but Congregation might be dying a lot, so it's really hard to say which support line is the better end here.
Yeah, and speaking of the support line, we are having Kua get switched out and having Riley and the band going in. So it's the second time that role has been swapped out.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting to see how this...
There.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that this team has 3 main support players. That's usually not what you'd expect from any sort of team. You'd usually see maybe 2 main support players, maybe 2 off support players, but no, they have 3 main support players. So obviously, A, they're stacked, and B, they're not sure which main support is actually the best here. So it's going to take a lot of coaching and scrims to figure out which one is actually meant for the role and which one should be played. But apparently they must have heard me when I was talking smack about Kua because they already subbed him out, so...
Yeah, and we're also seeing Discern going out and Rigo coming in as well for Kraken Skulls.
That's actually pretty interesting. So, despite Discern actually being a really good Mei, they're actually swapping him out. This is probably just for map preference, though, because Rigo might have a better hero pool than Discern in terms of the DPS pool. So we'll have to see. Same might go for Cruise Ship and Seeker, but again, we'll have to see as we're getting ready for the game here to start on Hollywood.
Yeah, because sometimes, they're a great player, but they're not playing the hero you need in that particular moment.
Yeah, one could be one trick, the other could be flexible on all 31 heroes, so never know.
Yeah, maybe you don't need a hero pool that big, but...
You never know.
Whatever's useful, You'll be infinitely useful if you can play every single hero in the game. Meta-proof.
Yeah, there you go. You can be filled on every role. Boom, done.
Yeah, so I'm very interested to see what do you think we're going to be seeing on Attack on Hollywood?
Honestly, I have no idea. We're probably going to be seeing if I were to take a guess, double sniper, maybe Maze as well playing Orisa, Hog. Maybe we'd be able to see Sigma. We haven't seen Sigma as much as we probably would have expected in this matchup, so we'll see. We might be seeing Sigma. We might just be seeing him sit on the bench for the entire match, like I am. But anyway,
something else since they switched out the DPS. Do you think we're going to be seeing any Reaper? We haven't seen it so far this game, if I can recall correctly.
We have seen Reaper earlier from Kraken Skulls, so it'll be interesting to see if we see Reaper from Rico. Probably he is a better Reaper specialist than CERN or Meh. But they happen to have CERN because he's a better Mei specialist, and they didn't want to have to run Reaper at that time. But, we'll have to see, because we are waiting for the match to still start over here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what these two teams are going to be playing. So we are starting now. We have Kraken Skulls starting on defense and Congregation starting on the attack.
Also, while we wait for the match to start, let us remind you all that Owlet Tournament, the official Owlet Tournament, starts next week on the 9th of September. It's going to be an epic one, man. It's going to be an epic match. There are going to be epic matches, an entire tournament schedule, all that sort of stuff. So make sure you tune in next week for the Owlet Tournament to officially begin next week. I know I said next week a lot, but don't forget about next week.
You can't forget about next week. It's the most important week.
Yeah. I heard about a sub player coming in. His name is Next Week. Anyway, enough with the nonsense. Let's get to the compositions here. For the defenders, we are going to be seeing a very interesting composition here. A Junkrat in play. We're also going to be seeing the Hanzo, and of course, the signature Rein Zarya that this team apparently is well known. So what do you think? Yeah.
Yes, I was going to ask, what do you think of the Junkrat? He hasn't been particularly strong recently.
I mean, Junkrat is probably better on the third point because it's still indoors, but here, there are certain places where you can have a Junkrat work. Like maybe in this right hallway over here, maybe in a back way, maybe play a trap upstairs. I mean, Junkrat can work, but it's a very difficult hero. As you can see, he's going to be sitting up on the high ground.
I think I know why they brought Seeker in. He's on the Doom, so maybe he is a Doom specialist, and he's gonna give us a masterclass on how to play Doomfist. That's always the hope.
Yeah, we do have Hackfist, actually, on the side of Congregation. That is the Hackfist combo in its entirety, so we're gonna see. This Hackfist combo was made popular in Korea content, so we'll see if it's able to work right now.
Yes, I had many an old teammate who dreamed of running this combo. And the Doomfist coming in, getting a little bit of poke, but getting out. Still alive, which is better than I could ever do. So, first Alama taking down Frazzle on the enemy team, which, is not a great start to your attack, but they do come back and take out 4 on Congregation. Wow, that is a team wipe. You don't need your main to win, is what Congregation is really showing us.
Yep, that is what we're learning here from Congregation, and honestly, really good setup by the enemy team, by Congregation to be able to pull that off. Really good charge up by Florida. Unfortunately, Frazzle was not allowed to play Overwatch. He got trapped 2 times in a row, so he was just there to sit and watch like a person in a movie theater. But regardless, Congregation starts pushing the payload, and that is not what you want if you're Kraken Skulls.
Yeah, losing a support early is never good. So they should probably back up here and hope to get reunited with their Zen. You have Choder in the backline who's just kind of getting a lot of poke in here, and already has that EMP, which is coming out right now.
And it gets 5 people.
Yeah, it gets pretty much everyone. Shatter getting exactly one person, which is Riley, who's not having a fun time in this game right now. But then, yeah, this Congregation continuing to clean up.
Alright, I don't think that nano was necessary because it was just meh there on the point. But I was about to say, Riley's band is obviously not doing well so far, so...
Yeah, you gotta get those intimidation points in. I think that was the purpose of a nano.
I definitely think the biggest problem right now with Kraken Skulls is they're not dealing with Choder. Choder is out there just farming EMP charge, and no one's dealing with him. No one on the enemy team, and there goes Rigo again. And there goes Riley.
And Riley again. Yeah, Riley and Rigo seem to keep going out early here. And yeah, it's another cleanup by Congregation. They are really just rolling through this second point.
Seeker is obviously
really this whole time.
Seeker is showing why he was subbed in. As for Rigo and Riley, however, yeah, just go back to the bench.
Oh,
and also, players get small spawns, so they're gonna have to get staggered a little bit. What I don't get though is why these players on Congregation are able to go so aggressive, but none of them are getting punished. You see Frazzle and Florida all the way up there. The only person who's been back on the payload this entire time is Holden.
Yeah, Shatter coming down, which gets Florida, but you beat so they can keep this aggression going, and they're taking down Kraken Skulls again. They're just continuing to show this dominance.
It has
over
just
the enemy
been,
team.
Yeah, it has just been a steamroll from Congregation, and really, Kraken Skulls are doing nothing about it. They've been holding on to their ults thinking, oh, maybe this is working this time, but no, they haven't been able to use them because they've been dying so early. And still, Holden is still alone on the payload while everyone's about to go over aggressive.
A Shatter coming out gets 2, but you have the tire coming, and it looks like Kraken Skulls may finally be getting the advantage here. A Blossom does not get much because he gets hacked out of it, it looks like.
It took them about, like, 100 meters, but finally, Kraken Skulls are able to, stabilize here. But the problem is, they have nothing! Look at the enemy team! They have Nano, they have Grab, they have, Meteor Strike!
Yeah,
They're
and you
about
have to
to
hold that
decimate
for 3.5 minutes. So, let's see how they can do this. Even if they can bite off a huge chunk of time, it's going to be very useful. And Frazzle, Marcus getting a long charge, but doesn't kill him. Grab and the Slam coming down to take out Professor Llama. And Marcus going down, that's the tank line out of here via Seeker, who really does not want the enemy team to be playing this game. Man going down, this again, Congregation coming in and really cleaning up. They just are taking out the stragglers who are attempting to stall this point. And we do have Marcus coming back in with the Shatter, so maybe he's going to be able to get something. He does get Frazzle, and he gets a huge Shatter on the enemy team. And I think that he might have brought that back. But the EMP comes out, getting the people on the team. Is Seeker going to come in and clean up? This is going very back and forth right here. But that's good for Kraken Skulls. Yeah, Seeker continuing to get lots of damage in here, but it's still really even.
It's still going really back and forth.
For Kraken Skulls, but Shatter coming onto that wrecking ball, which is a great way to take him out. But they do not get the kill onto him. They do get to kill onto Riley and Morningstar. There goes their supports, and you only have Diva coming in, but does not get there because he gets stunned by Seeker. Seeker said no to Kraken Skulls playing this entire map.
I think we call that a roll, ladies and gentlemen. That
was
is what you
nearly
call.
perfect.
That is what you call a roll by Congregation. They were luckily Kraken Skulls was able to stall it out to 2 minutes when they were at 4 when they approached like the 5-meter mark. So there is hope. It is very slim, but there is hope for Kraken Skulls to be able to get more time, if not finish the map, over Congregation.
Yeah,
So-
they've been pulling out fights that they maybe shouldn't be winning. So it's possible they are gonna find their legs as the weeks go on in this tournament, and maybe eventually end up coming back to Congregation and rolling them in the future.
All right.
It's always what I like to see improvement.
Yep, so for the defense, we are going to be seeing that double sniper I theorized at the beginning. We're going to be seeing Seeker on the Widow and Choder on the Hanzo. So we'll be able to see if this double sniper will be deadly. I would definitely...
Our first time seeing dive on this matchup, I believe.
And I can bet you about like $100 when Rigo sees that they are going to be going against a double sniper, he will definitely switch off at Farah. So we'll have to see. But we should probably keep our eyes on Sticker, as we just literally saw how good of a performance he was able to do on Doomfist. Imagine how his Widow can do.
Yeah, they're different heroes, because you don't have... Doomfist is not an aim-intensive hero. But maybe Seeker is just going to show us that... Seeker is the best DPS in the world, maybe. or at least in Owlet.
Yeah, could be an early MVP candidate, and there goes Rigo.
Yep, there goes Rigo.
That didn't take too long, alright. They are able to get the res. Yep, he was behind cover, so good stabilization. Now, question is, how do they engage this? Well, first off, they engage this by Rigo going on the ground.
I will not waste this opportunity.
Yeah, just kind of, poking back and forth. Florida kind of pushed up to keep them at bay, but Professor Llama gets demech, so Marcus is diving in virtually alone. And May also goes down, and Marcus goes down, Morningstar goes down, and that's going to be the fight there. Stalling out Professor Llama maybe, and gets remech'd, hoping to escape, and he does get out there.
It's going to be a nasty
But-
stagger.
Yeah, Rally gets staggered hard there, which is unfortunate, but great play from Congregation.
Acknowledged.
And you can see they're already switching up. They already have Marcus and Professor Llama onto the Rhine Zarya, and Mez going over to the Widowmaker. So it's time to see a Widow duel and see which is the better, Mez or Seeker.
Ooh, and Rigo switching over to the Hanzo off that Farah. Probably
So-
a good choice there.
Yeah, definitely. Now, and they also have a Moira instead of a Mercy now, so a full ult reset on the side of Kraken Skulls. So now they only have the Nano Boost for next fight. I would imagine they would Nano either Rigo or Marcus here in order to get some value. Probably Rigo, so they can get that Dragon Strike up.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're still going around the same way, but we do get sights from Seeker, hoping to get some nice picks. We will see if this works out. Just
You can also
continuing to
see-
poke here back and forth. Oh, and the Dragon's coming in. Doesn't get anyone though.
Oh, Florida made a big mistake! But he was
it's-
actually... Okay, you know, he's
Florida
dead.
almost escaped, but did not. But Morningstar is taking out my shoulder. Shoulder's like, "Don't worry, man. I got you. I'm gonna make sure you didn't lose this fight." And Shoulder takes down Meh as well, and then Seeker takes down Rigo. The snipers are just doing a great job here, really keeping this going.
For a second there, I thought Florida was... I thought that Congregation was pretty much done for. When Florida went way deep, expecting to get a kill, was met with all 6 of them, and just lost her mech. Luckily, Florida is about to get his mech back, and that is not what you want to see if you are the Kraken Skulls when you have a minute left in the time bank.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because they don't have a lot of ults either. But they have so many ults on the side of Congregation. So this is not shaping up to be a winning fight for Kraken Skulls, but who knows? Maybe they'll pull this out somehow.
We'll have to see.
The
Here
bomb
comes the
coming in. Is it gonna
self-destruct.
get anyone? Oh, it does get
Oh.
Riley. Riley was like an inch away from being behind that Rhine shield. Professor Llama goes down. because the window is just pumping in damage to the enemy team. They're trying to hide out in cafe a little bit, but Congregation drops down to deal with that, and they are cleaning up once again.
Again, as I said, you don't want to see an early pickup. Professor Llama's going to try to stall here on the Wrecking Ball. That might be it.
We do have Rally touching here, but it's going to get taken out really quickly. And the DPS coming out. Oh, but Marcus comes in, gets a nice shatter as a last stand before his team loses the map.
And that will be it. Congregation 3-0 so far. That means that they have officially won the series.
Yes,
no matter what happens.
I think we've figured out Congregation's day job, which is janitors, because they clean up so efficiently in those
Exactly.
fights.
Who would think that a group of alligators would be a ton of janitors? But hey, what do you know? This is Owlet. Anything happens here.
Well, I want to see art for that now. But yeah, so Congregation is just getting more and more dominant as these maps go on.
Yeah, I would definitely say Congregation, you must feel really happy about this. You just asserted your dominance so hard on the enemy team. You've beaten all three of the big main supports on their team. Kraken Skulls, time to go back to the drawing board. You need to figure out what went wrong and try to fix it for the next match.
Yeah, Congregation clearly has a stacked DPS lineup, and everyone else is also pulling their weight here. You know, because you can't win purely on just great DPS. You have to have, you know, your good tanks and your good supports in there to, you know, give them the resources they need to pop off.
Yeah. But unfortunately, just not able to do it there for Kraken Skulls. Their DPS were good at some points. Marcus, obviously, aggro Ryan is best Ryan sometimes. I mean, take it from Bumper. But, like, their DPS definitely needs some work. Flexibility definitely seems to be a problem, as you can see. Like, Rigo, his Pharah was alright, but, like, he couldn't really play anything else, really, from what I saw.
Yeah, and you bring up Bumper, and one reason that Bumper can succeed so well is he has such great support from his teammates. So I think to match with Marcus's playstyle, you need to have, you know, supports who are just pumping heals into him to, you know, really keep him going. Because you can pull off that aggressive style, especially in, you know, lower levels. So they just need to kind of give him the support he needs, and they can dominate with that. But they just aren't right there. They aren't there right now.
Yeah. And even some players, and even, like, the supports, like, all four supports we've seen so far on Kraken Skulls have been average at best. Like, I wouldn't name out, like, any specific supports that have done, like, a lot on Kraken Skulls, so they definitely really need to work on, like, what strategies they're going to run with. But Congregation, I think they're fine for the most part, and might be able to, like... Congregation, I feel like, are going to be a very heavily favored playoff team if they're able to keep this up against big teams. But don't take it from me. I was on Congregation when they were in Get Good North America, and they went from beating one of the best teams to losing to one of the worst teams. So,
yes,
don't take it from me.
But yeah, I'm really I'm really looking forward to seeing what we get out of Congregation going forward,
And
seeing them go up against other teams.
Speaking of going forward, we are going to be heading to Dorado next for the final map of this 4-map set. At least I think it's 4 maps. If not, then I was lied to. Okay, it is 4. I've just gotten confirmation for that from Gods Up in Space, so thank you very much. But yeah, we will be going to our 4th map here and our final map to see if Kraken Skulls is able to pull off a win here against Congregation, or Congregation will get that sweet 4-0 to rub in everyone's faces heading into the season next week.
Get those sweet bragging rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, going forward, do you know who they're going up against next?
I might be able to know, but I have no idea. Hold on, let's make sure this is working.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up the list here real quick.
Yeah, I could check real quick. But no matter what, I feel like Congregation is going to be a very scary team coming into the season.
Yeah. Congregation is going to be going up against the Ohio Owos on Tuesday.
Oh, so that'll be a very interesting match.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was able to catch the beginning of the Ohio Owos versus Happy Squids earlier, and Ohio Owos went 2-0 versus Happy Squids from what I saw. I'm not sure if Happy Squids is able to bring it back, but that means that it could be some good competition for Congregation there.
Yeah. Once again, we are going to be seeing more swaps come out, and actually, it's pretty interesting. They're going to be stepping up Professor Llama and putting in Kua on the off-tank role, and Frode is going to be going to the second support role over Morningstar. So, Kraken Skull's starting to experiment a bit.
You know, they're like, you know, the score doesn't matter. We're going to try stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing to do in preseason. That's the time where you want to kind of experiment and see what works out in a tournament setting.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what Kraken Skulls pulls off with this lineup. Kua, obviously, we saw him on support earlier. We saw the same with Frode. Probably Kua being able to play off-tank explains his very over-aggression at the beginning, but we'll see. As it looks like we're about to get started here on Dorado. According to the chat, but I don't know.
The chat says all sorts of things.
Match chat says all sorts of things. Like how one of the coaches for Congregation is a feeder. Anyway, let's hope that starts soon.
The PM. Yeah, while we're here and waiting around a little bit, let's talk about the history of some of these players, because Cruise Ship, Marcus, and one of the support staff for, I'm pretty sure, Kraken Skulls, DCOs, all used to be on a team together last season, which is Echo 6 for minors. Just fun little history there.
Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting for history. And of course, I've mentioned multiple times before, I actually was on Congregation. We used to play in Get Good North America. Most of the coaches on Congregation also were former players. So I happen to know a lot about the Congregation history and whatnot. So that's why I'm so familiar with this team, and that's why I wanted to cast them, because Congregation was my home, They were my former team. They were the team we rode to a 5th place finish in Get Good North America. So I gotta support
Another thing
them.
I'm really excited for this season is seeing old players coming back and seeing where they're at now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always fun.
It's always good seeing old veterans and seeing how they improve and how they're able to get back into the mojo of things. You could see players last season not doing really good in minors. Next, they're dominating in majors. And finally, we are entering into Dorado.
Okay, so it looks like we're having Congregation on defense first, and Kraken Skulls attacking.
Nope, that's the opposite. Kraken Skulls
Okay.
will be on the defense for... Actually, Kraken Skulls will be on attack. I lied. I'm a great person,
Okay.
guys. I know what I'm doing.
We're clearly both top tier casters. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we've casted hundreds of times before. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean, new caster? Anyway.
Yeah, I'm super experienced. But yeah, so what do you think we'll be seeing for defense here coming out from Congregation?
Double sniper probably is going to be the most thing, because it worked so well last time. Either that or bunker, you never know. But we're about to find out right now, and we don't know what the DPS are. Great job, guys. Thanks for ruining everything. Alright,
we will have an Orisa, that's for sure, and a Diva coming out.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing a very interesting form of Divas, of a double sniper here. Ashe and Hanzo, instead of a Widow and Hanzo, so... This is definitely meant for destroying the tank line and making sure everyone regrets that they ever picked the hero with armor, but we're going to see what happens. Meanwhile, on the side of Kraken Skulls, are we actually going to see some Sigma gameplay today? For the first time?
I think that may be why they subbed Kua in. Maybe Kua is one of the only people who knows how to play Sigma on their team. Since they want to try out Sigmas, they put Kua in on the off roll.
It'll be interesting to see if Congregation sub back in Symmetra, or get a Symmetra in for this, as shields are pretty much killer. Here we go on the attack. 4 Kraken Skulls.
A wall up here from Rigo, just blocking them off. Say you cannot have fun. Which is already implied with the double shield, though. So Yeah, just kind of rolling through. The Congregation's gonna need to contest here. Frazzle goes down when he tries to contest, though. So you're losing your main tank, and it's gonna take a while for Frazzle to come back. But Seeker is cleaning up some people and making it more even here. But they do have faster respawns for Kraken. Florida going in deep, as Florida seems to like to do, and does not get punished because Poplots puts down the immortality to save Florida.
So I just want to point out, you said that Frazzle was trying to contest. He was actually booped off the top by Frode on the Lucio. So Frode actually was able to wall ride all the way up, make a huge right of play and boop off Frazzle. Unfortunately, it didn't work because Seeker is a god, but really good attempt there by Kraken Skulls to be able to break that bunker kill position.
Yeah, sorry, thank you for pointing that out. Getting a pull above the shield, but they do take down Holden. But Kug then goes down as well. Is back and forth here, and they use the wall to block off that window, but Florida is still going cleaning up there. And yeah, that looks like Congregation is going to be winning this fight, for sure.
Yeah, you were definitely seeing the effects here of an Ashe and Hanzo. Both are really good in terms of shield break. You have an Orisa, and also they switched off the Hog after the last fight. But shield break is pretty much the name of Hanzo's game. Ashe has that extra dynamite in order to provide extra damage over the shield. Pretty much, you're dead, son. Thanks for coming.
That does seem to be the game Congregation is playing, is you don't get to play Overwatch, only we get to play Overwatch. Immediately breaking that shield there, as soon as it is placed. Really unfortunate, but we see Hog going around to the right to try to get a sneaky hook there, and does get one, but does not get the kill, and Choder says no, and kills go right back. And we get a bomb coming out from Congregation, but it does not get anyone, but it's fine because the rest of the team is getting all the kills.
So, that would have probably been a one fight for Kraken Skulls if one thing did not come into factor. Florida ate the Blizzard.
Through the dragon's eyes.
Yeah,
so
that's big.
That's yeah. And now Rigo has switched off to the Junkrat. He is obviously not happy, and he wants to just play MM1 into small corridors and kill people.
It's an interesting choice that he something gets eaten. He's like, okay, eat my other spam though. But the dragon's coming out. Out from both sides, but Choders gets way more.
It was actually a very good setup there. There was a halt from Frazzle straight to the dragons, and pretty much everyone died on the side of Kraken Skulls.
Yeah, it's great teamwork. You love to see it.
Yeah, so Kraken Skulls now are in last push territory. They have like probably 50 meters, less than 50 meters.
Coming in, trying to get the pull, trying to kill, but Window comes out to get this damage in. Oh, and yeah, that is just
yep, yeah,
for
that is
Congregation. I do not
brutal.
want to crack the bills right now. We just saw Rico, who's maybe looking to get a last minute contest, or maybe
if Florida doesn't find him.
It's very scary. Here's the Wrecking Ball coming in, who does get the touch in time, but does go down immediately. And you do have the Moira is touching, and you get 3 people actually. They're getting a pretty good recontest here, but are they gonna actually be able to pull out the fight? And it's looking pretty even right now.
If Rigo is able to build up that tire, there might be an opportunity here for Kraken Skulls, or he's probably just gonna die. Or he might not. He might not.
Kills in. Rigo going low, but he does have the tire, but Choder brings out the bomb, and that is that for Kraken Skulls. They are not having a very good day right now.
Ouch. That's all I can say right now. Ouch.
You know, it can be done. They can do a better hold than Congregation. It's possible, although quite unlikely, unfortunately for them.
Yep, unfortunately. Unless Kraken Skulls is able to hold on for 4 minutes at this one corner, they are going to be getting 4-0'd here today, unfortunately, in our first match of the Owlet preseason. In their first match of the Owlet preseason, and of Owlet in general this season. So, Let's hope they are able to rebound. They're probably going to be running something very cheesy. We might see Sim, we might see Bash, we might see Torb. We might see anything. We might see goats for all we know. Oh, wait,
Oh,
it's
we
banned. Never
can't
mind.
see goats.
Yeah,
But
unfortunately.
we
can see what is considered
pure
goats.
cancer counts, though.
Yeah, they're actually still deciding their DPS. Actually, no, never mind. I lied. Wrong
That's
side.
fine.
They do have the Mei and the Reaper set on for the DPS, so we'll
They
see what
decided
happens.
that they don't want to play cheese except for the Mei, but Mei's meta said it's not full cheese. It's fine. It's legal. But yeah, we are seeing double sniper coming out from Congregation on the attack here.
Yeah, and we are going to be seeing the roles actually swap. Seeker is actually going to go to the Hanzo, and Choder's going to go to the Widowmaker. It's usually the other way around, though. Let's see if these two are actually very flexible enough to play the other's roles.
You know, who knows? Maybe they are deciding to take it easier. Maybe they're just wanting to flex how good they are on everything.
Yeah, it looks like it's the latter. As you can see, Choder's already picked off Frode, who is in the front line. There
Frazzle
goes
does go
Frazzle.
down, and Florida goes down. That's the tank line for Congregation right there. So Congregation probably needs to back up a bit.
As you can see, Frode's already switched back to the Lucio just so he can get in. Poplots is down.
Decided to go in, but he gets taken down. I know that feeling well, and that's the support line. So you really need to just back up in the spawn, recollect yourselves, and go in.
I never thought I'd see the day I see Reaper killed Widowmaker, but really, this is starting to get a little sloppy and messy here from Congregation. They definitely should have been able to win that fight with one support down, but unfortunately, too over-aggressive from Frazzle in Florida, which I never thought I'd be saying.
And Frazzle gets walled off, so that could spell disaster, but they are able to get back over and help their main tank out. Marcus charging in, taking Florida down low, but it's going even. Frazzle with the long charge in gets taken down. And the shatter comes but doesn't connect with anyone. But they are still being pushed back, it looks like, although Choder does get a pick onto Matt.
What I want to point out there is that the reason Frazzle was able to survive was because Poplots was able to wall ride up the wall and be able to get up to him. As you can see, okay.
Ooh, Frazzle
there
shattering the back line and hoping to take them out as Marcus and Frode do go down.
And we have a Boostio on the field, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, we have a Boostio. He's not getting much done, but there is a Boostio on the field.
You know, as a Lucio main, I love to see it. Love to see it. The grab comes through from Kraken, but they take down that Zarya pretty quick, and it doesn't get much value. They're just kind of playing the stall game, hoping to get their happiness back a little bit before they probably inevitably lose, as they are getting cleaned up here at the end.
Unfortunately, that is a 4-0 for Congregation. Kraken Skulls, it's time to go back to the drawing board and evaluate it for the next 24 hours, but great job by Congregation to be able to bring victory here today.
It is.
And this is going to be that 4K Dragon with the halt set up. So, really good job by Congregation here today. Their DPS were stellar, their tanks were good, their supports were good. Kraken Skulls, however, a lot to work on. So hopefully they'll be able to get that stuff fixed before the beginning of the season.
Yeah. And we talked about what Congregation's playing next, but Kraken is going to be going up against Dumpster. I'm not sure their full name. It's not written on this production.
Dumpster Divers, I'm pretty sure.
Dumpster Divers? Okay. Kraken Skull is going to be going up against Dumpster Divers on Wednesday at 9 Eastern. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Dumpster Divers has not played their first game yet, I believe. Oh no, they are going to be playing it. They have already started, actually, right now, over on Abyssal's channel.
Yep.
You can get the link to an announcement. Also going on right now is Otter Oxide versus King's Throw, which I think is going to be very interesting. Definitely no bias, as I'm not part of the Otter Oxide organization.
Sure. But yeah, definitely in a very entertaining match. There is still a lot of work on for most of these players, but again, it's the preseason. You get to fool around a bit, as we saw Choder and Seeker changing their roles. Choder, turns out he's a good Widowmaker.
Turns out he's a good DPS, just really overall. He pulled out the Sombra, pulled out the Symmetra, pulled out the Hanzo, pulled out the Widowmaker.
Yeah, if I were to give a player of the match to anyone during this, it would have to go to Choder. He showed up today. He did a really good job. Overall, just a very stellar DPS. I would give it to Seeker, but we did not see him as much as Choder, so
Yeah,
really
Seeker
good job.
played less maps, and Choder was there throughout the entire thing, and doing his job throughout the entire thing.
Absolutely.
So, you gotta give props to him.
Yeah. Alright, well.
Yeah, so, I've been Reignbow doing your play-by-play.
And I've been Nocturnal. I've been your color caster. We thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you sooner or later.